Hello, everyone. Space-based technologies are the building blocks of innovation. What are the key trends in space tech industry? We will discuss today with Dr. Jayakumar Venkatesan, CEO of Valles Marineris International, partner and CTO of Synergy Moon USA. $40 million Google Lunar Xprize finalist, visionary member of Upgrade Technology Contest Russia. My name is Daria Vasilieva and I'm CEO and founder of GETVISION. I'm happy welcoming you, Jayakumar. Thank you for joining us. To begin with, could you kindly share with us some details on your personal experience in space tech industry?
Yeah, thanks, Tasha. Appreciate it to reaching out to me. And I'm into the space industry nearly 12 years. Uh, we start working on space exploration, especially for moon exploration. Somehow great idea, like everyone want to go to the moon or maybe want to visit some other planets. So this is how the idea is came. So so then and also I have a passion to work on aerospace and space technology stuffs like rockets, satellites, something like. So this is how I started my journey, and we participated in 40 million Google Lunar Xprize challenge have been the Google announced it. So we take part into that, and with 16 countries have been together as a one single team, and we participated and we got the finalist in this. Unfortunately, because we could not satisfy the requirements of the competition of the Google because non-availability of rockets to moon. So it's like we failed it, but we continue the exploration of space for good and for humanity and sustainable space.
I'm sure that many people, when thinking about space tech industry, they consider it's only connected to space. Could you kindly give us more examples on daily use of space technologies in our lives?
You can see in the decade. I mean, like we guys start using the 4G actually. The people in tech, you can see in the 10 years back, there is I mean, just you can make the only the phone calls. It may not be any video calls, any stuff, something like that. But now we guys are enjoying all the services, and we're using the remote keys. I mean, a lot of technology enhancement and comfortabilities that are become like that. And on those days you can watch the television on on the TV. I mean, like you want to watch some series or some kind of watch the movies, but now everything in your hand, and a lot of upgrade in satellite technologies and all, something like. We now guys we have start working on driverless cars and this and all, like we need the satellite technologies more.
What triggers really boosted the industry, and what average person have to look at, when they consider space tech industry?
Yeah, the space technology is mostly affordable service, especially like we guys start using the GPS nowadays. You can see in the few decades there is no GPS, but you can navigate to your house. Even your own house you are navigating yourself nowadays. I mean, this is the demand makes the supply, like. So the technology is enhancing the space technology, like global positioning systems and driverless cars and the driverless train. And in the future, maybe after 50 years or for 20 30 years, there will be like autonomous flights also might be there. Will innovations is going on. Even autonomous spacecraft that is fly to the International Space Station, like SpaceX, they made the successful drive. So the technological enhancements are boosting the everyday activity and make the people's comfort, giving the more comfortness. So this is how the space technologies is working, direct to your mobile, direct to your house. I mean, like everything, like from the using the satellite communication especially. I mean, the big market is profit making market is like a 5G. The next big money is this one. And on olden days, the oil is the something called the treasure. I mean, kind of the thing actually. Oil is money, but this generation data is money. you know so So that's why the cloud services for IBM or Amazon, whatever, even Alibaba, everyone need an services of the satellites because they need satellite communications, and we needed a very faster, higher internet, so that will give the more productivity. So newcomers are looking to the enhancing the technologies. I mean, the satellite technologies, especially the space technology, is applicable to everywhere. Actually, it is like even for from farmer to aerospace engineer. So this is the
Mhm.
ultimate.
And what are the perspectives for the industry, and what initiatives are you involved in?
Mostly we work on mostly the for example for precision agriculture. For example, they have we can use this kind. Agriculture is one side, and second is like keep tracking of vehicles, of naval vessels. For example, if you're shipping something, you can track your parcel by the seas and oceans. So that is the next few futuristic stuff. And next big stuff is like a driverless trains and cars, like that, autonomous driving stuffs. And you cannot be necessary to, the keep tracking of your objects and people movement, machine movements, factories, vessels, or military stuff, or whatever. So the and also the expensive jewelries is like a keeping tracing your assets at what is the status. This will give the more security and more productivity of whatever you do. So this is how the things are happening around.
Space industry is generally considered as government driven. Is it likely to become a privatized venture?
We started in the Google Xprize. It is around. There was the no privatization actually. The big step has been because after the Google announcement of 40 million, they started giving some lump sum of the grants, something like so, something you achieve it. So this helped to create more than 5,000 industries. For example, 5,000 startup entrepreneurs or private entrepreneurs. Even one of the, it's me also one of the private entrepreneur. By doing this kind of such a task, it created more than approximately it's like a 500,000 jobs have been created directly and indirectly, maybe from the academia and industry in participations and the free internships and educational activities. There are so many things that happen just because the privatization. And also moreover, international space station also privatized, going to be in next 5 years, 5 10 years, I don't know exactly, but the commercial space came in the place. Now everything is comes in the private player, like SpaceX, like never imagine that the SpaceX is ruling now the USA, and they secure the most of the contracts of the NASA, and they are doing the billions of the money making in this. And also in the same time, the other projects like space explorations, that makes a good money. There are a lot of private players. They have been like the governments also stepping in and trying to support in some of the few missions, especially mostly in Russia. Also recently started some few startup companies in private spaces also, and India also. It's like in everywhere. It's like a emerging stage. Actually, it's not in a veteran stage or something, but it's like a emerging startups. Like there are many things are coming up. So the commercial feasibility of commercial space is possible 100%, but it will take time because we are doing the strategies right now. We are in a strategic investment since comes around, and also something. But most of the technological domain, if you think, this is like it goes like in a mature level of technology. It will take some few years to make like a consume. It's not to the technology demonstrated to commercialization. That is most important. Technology demonstrates like experimenting stuff, but commercialization, that will give more money. Actually, the people who are working on earth observation projects and people who are working on the satellite buildings and also the rocket buildings, they are going to make very big money. And also especially for 3D printing industry, like additive manufacturing technologies, that is going to play a major role. And artificial intelligence, that is most important for any autonomous systems, either you use for a vacuum cleaner or use for a satellite. But there will be like the artificial intelligence being like that. Also the big research is going on, and in the same time there's big data. This is like a very amazing stuff that you can able to explore, and this is like a billion dollar making money. there are trillions of money lying in the data and in the business.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And from investment perspective, how do you think which segments are the most attractive in space tech?
Yeah, Earth observation market is one of the continuous cash flow. You can look at in Earth observation projects and also the satellite buildings, and also there is like a big demand and supply. There will be like more than 12,000 satellites that need to be launched in next 10 years. Okay, so it means you need a more Uber service, right? Like for example, rocket launches. So that is most of the time. And second stuff is like urbanization, Uberization of ground network, actually service provider. For example, if you launch a 5G satellite, you need the people to install the base stations, and I mean the centers, like for example for data securities and I mean the mostly the ground segment especially. So there will be like a huge business either for rocket launches, satellite business, and also in the space education also. And because you need to educate to the farmers, educate to the users, consumers, this is the segment. So so this is the biggest take in it. And also the mostly the consider, if you consider is like both industries plays. I mean, for example, satellite industry, without satellite you can't do anything, without rocket you can't move to the space, without satellite you can't do the to enjoy the services. So everything is interrelated, and directly and indirectly people will be get benefited actually. The space industry is not kind of the real estate investments or property investment is like, but will Elon Musk is took nearly 18 years to make to see the success. But the investors are having a passion like 10 years need to see the growth, and also they can keep monitoring the financial flows and something. Uh, there are some of the companies like OneWeb, and some of them they kickstarted like a very big, and some things are end up with nothing. So there are some kind of some cases also there, but they mostly we have to see the market potential, availabilities, and also the team and the work. I mean, like this is like uh, kind of a thrust, and also it's like you making the believe actually. It's kind of the investors should be investors can maybe like kind of the some kind of visionaries or something like that. So the sustainable space or something, it is not like. So they should have the broad minded investors, or maybe they will be very successful in it. So investors may look forward for of course the fund is guaranteed, fund is return is also the, I mean it's most important. But mostly the technology readiness level mostly above the 5, or tech demonstrator maybe above 2 also it is fine. But mostly they can strategically they can invest in long term projects actually. If they start investing in a very short term project with many little seeds, but this will not give something. More you risk it, more you success, more you fail, more you less risk, less profit, high risk, high profit, and also in the same time loss. So it's like a vice versa.
Could you name some new technologies in the industry which can significantly influence the markets in a few years?
Technologies is like the 5G is the first big stuff, and second is the additive manufacturing technologies, like a 3D printing stuff. We one of with Russian our partner, 3D biosystems. We printed like a shrimp, 3D printed shrimp, and also the chicken nuggets in KFC stuff. So I mean, like this is like sustainable meat or something kind of thing. And next is that artificial intelligence, and the spacecraft training simulators. I mean, like for educational space education stuff. So this is the, and AR VR. AR VR means augmented realities and virtual realities for mostly for education and demonstration purpose, and the mission technologies to understanding them very clearly. So these are all the technologies. We are also into the additive manufacturing and also in this artificial intelligence, and we are into the spacecraft systems engineering and AR VR stuff actually. Especially we're working in the space tech actually. So this will be the next giant make money making business for next 10 years. And by the time if you start making the 5G satellites, So you are a billionaire. So you may be a trust pass SpaceX or whatever you can like so billionaires.
Good point. But in the same time, we're living in the quite difficult time of pandemic. How COVID-19 influenced the industry? Many segments that you already mentioned are under pressure due to current situation. What is your point of view on this matter?
The effects of the COVID-19 situation is like they drag us behind the 3 years where we are. Like and there will be like most of the companies have been shut down, and also there is no job for them. Most of them they lost the job, and unfortunately the private commercial space is not fully privatized. Actually, it is like the kind of the baby just born and just started to walk like this. All the startup in the privatization of the space industry, except two babies like rich kids like SpaceX and Blue Origin are like rich guys babies like that. So now they have an personal capacity and other things, but some of the industries like us, there will be like the private investors, and also we have the one side of the investments and another side the clients and the customers, and to product development, and we need this COVID-19 that drag us behind the 3 years. But it will after post COVID, it will take 1 or 2 years. It will to sustain to reach the what the place right now we are. But we guys we still doing the strategy. This COVID situation, how we utilize this, we start using on the strategizing the business for next 5 years, and we started making the cooperations to start working today. I mean, what we are right now I'm doing, and we started the I'm doing the strategizing for the next 2 years. So what are the projects for year, not for this year. This year 2020 we just it's not in the calendar in the our record book also. It's like a zero revenues, and only the space, even as the government, even federal investments also, even the national space agencies like all they are also not receiving any logistics. They can able to receive more foreign satellites, they bring it here and they launch it. Even Russia also, there is like in COVID-19 situation is like everything make this pandemic situation made everyone crazy about that. But we are not going to be still, we are not going to give up, and we still continuing the process. But it will take some time actually. So you can say there will be like $1 billion, more than $1 trillion of the business have been lost, and also lost means the revenue generation has been stopped for the many companies, and the even a Boeing, even Airbus, any companies, even aircraft industries or airlines have been struck off. So everything is something like that. So this is the situation. I hope in next 2 years the situation will be changed up. So we look forward the better settlement of this pandemic situation. So we have only the God will help us. So that's it. So but we are strong and confident. So maybe we can see the great future next 2 years. So.
What do you think about the role of artificial intelligence in the development of space tech?
Yes, artificial intelligence is like kind of I mean like a deep learning techniques that we can use for mostly to use the work actually, the personal identifications and the smartphones and smart projects actually. I mean the touchless, you can you do the attendance of your employees by using touchless attendance, and even touchless check-in in airports. I mean like you can stand in and you can identify you and face and everything. So it's like there are technology enhancement is keep growing actually. Every day, every month, every day we are seeing the new technologies, new improvements, new optimization techniques. So artificial intelligence also is helping to to easy and to optimize the work and the productivity. I'm searching some particular file or particular phase or particular thing actually. Even Google announced, the Google Lens. Whatever I took the photo, I do not know the name of whatever. I just am using the app and just I can find it. Yes, this is the banana. This is the avocado. This is some kind of, this is the apple. Like for unknown things, maybe it has improved because of the big data. If you start the accuracy will increase with the more data. even artificial intelligence will be in the space is like a major role actually. So even SpaceX docked autonomous driving to the International Space Station, and they're coming back. So it means what? So it's like everything is like every day our lifestyle is keep improving. So artificial intelligence is coming. I mean, home automations, that is the biggest thing actually. It is like you guys watch it in the movies in Iron Man or maybe the Star Trek or something like. The people now start realizing it. So this is how the artificial intelligence and also the machine intelligence will give the more practical nowadays is happening. It's not no more theoretical. So artificial intelligence is the next giant leap, and it will ease the stuff and save your money and also save your time and create a more productive. But it does not mean that it will give the job cuts. I mean, like employees, employer will not throw the employees. It will increase the productivity. That's it.
So, what are the most favorable countries for space tech industry development? Who are supporting the industry the most globally?
Okay, so I mean, yeah, if you can go see the globally, it's like every country is working on the national specific projects, especially the US, NASA is supporting. I can say in this case, in the reality, the USA is doing amazing stuff. Example, NASA has been given billions of dollar money to the private industries, especially for Artemis program of moon landing mission, and also for Space Dragon flying missions. And Boeing, they have the secure big contracts. I mean, like of course, if you can start the private commercializations, it's begin, and in successful, it is in USA, and so you can say, and the second is the Canadian Space Agency, and and later we can say like European Space Agency. Somehow they started doing, and the newborn baby, like kind of the now, like Australian Space Agency is start building the national capacity. So this may be the fourth if you start making rank, but it's not. I mean, the proven results not yet to come. Actually, it's like they have $650 million some budget allocations for space explorations missions, approximately in a moon, and even national capacity building or international partnership. They have been like open up now. So, and India also is trying to privatize the space segment. Just initial dialogue has been initiated in India, and I don't know about some in Russia. Russia also is trying to do something in best way in how to do that. Means this is the situation actually. So mostly the National Space Agency also they came into the situation to compete it in the space race actually. So this is how the things are going up.
I think this question you're gonna like the most. Do you think that space tourism will be accessible for people, you know, in some recent years?
Yes, you can see the space tourism is possible within the next 5 years. I mean, like the technologies have been developed and the private players are coming up, and we also our interest is doing the private. I mean, the space tourism actually, but it is you can see it before 2030. It's like you can spend your vacation in space, like some kind of the stuff we're making. So we guys are start fabricating the artificial, I mean, a meat in space, something like we already demonstrated with our Russian partners 3D biopenning in 2018 and 19. So I mean, so you can enjoy your and also the France sent 10 bottles of the wine to the International Space Station. You have the shrimp and you have the 3D the chickens, and you have the wine, and you can enjoy. So it's a kind of the space tourism is possible. In USA also started digging on, and I'm also looking for partners in Russia on space tourism projects. And our guys have already start working on stratospheric tourism projects. It is in design space, and we like to see the technology demonstration next to 2 or 3 years. So, and also in the same time, we are looking for the investors in space tourism project as well. So space tourism is 100% is possible in next 5 or 10 years.
What would be your advice to any aspiring entrepreneur who dreams to create some business in space technology industry?
Mostly the application point of view is like a ground segment. We call technically called a ground segment. Means user segment. User segment, it means everyday users. For example, we can use the artificial intelligence to building the maps or like to finding some kind of stuff. And I encourage the mostly is to start working on the satellite building. And satellite building, it means not just a device. It is like building the scientific instruments. Like for example, the communication satellite. That's like a 5G. That is the most important thing. And artificial intelligence there, and additional manufacturing, like advanced manufacturing capabilities that we can develop. And mostly the ground segment, the service provider. Okay, satellite is available. For example, in India, I mean, we cannot connect everywhere the 4G. Like in Russia also, you cannot enjoy the internet, high speed internet at everywhere. So there is like a terrestrial network. This is the terrestrial networking and ground segment solutions that will give more money, like how we are watching the TVs like that. So some that will make good money. And mostly though, I want advice for this new tech space entrepreneurs is not, it is not just because it look like so space is beautiful, you just please don't jump in it. Actually you have to know the swimming before you jump into the water like that. So you have to make sure things and all, learn small like how you learn is swimming kind of thing, how you know the learning the driving, some kind of the stuff. You start behaving in it and start practicing it. If you are comfortable, then you can allow to do yourself. So it's a kind of stuff. So always start experimenting in the space, and keep yourself confident, and keep your level very high, and never give up kind of attitude. If you are fear of failures, then don't enter into the space business. And if you want to be a successful guy, you should have always have the passion and trust, and also continuous learning in your entire life in the space industry. And we should be humble to all space industry, otherwise we will not be stay on the platform. We will kicked out of the spaceship. So
Okay.
it's like many challenges.
Thank you, Jayakumar, for sharing us your experience. That was very interesting to hear from the first line what the trends are and where the market is.
Thanks a lot, Dasha. I mean, I appreciate it for your time, and I'm great to share with you great insights. I mean, hope this may be useful for someone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for watching us. Feel free to comment this video should you have any questions to our guest. Speak to you soon. See ya. Thank you.